This is me, Gary Hewitt, and I'm here to talk about this particular program. Now, we've run a group of people through it, and all I can say is that the outcome is very, very profoundly transformational. But let's talk a little bit, and we'll demonstrate as well. I like to do stuff as opposed to just talking about stuff. And the more you get to know me, the more you realize that, that's kind of the case. So we will actually do a chakra balancing, which is very light compared to, the chakra reset portion. But I want you to feel my energy and what is possible, so that you have some understanding. Now, I will say, there's a very important statement that the map is not the territory, right? And what do we mean by that? It means that the chakras, if you look at them and you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you'll find that several thousand years between them, and they had nothing to do with each other, and they discovered the exact same patterns, pretty much. What that means is that, the chakra isn't the thing. There's something there that has a very specific pattern. And if you look at each chakra in as a sequence, you'll see that they all kind of stack up exactly like Maslow's hierarchy of needs does, starting with your safety at the bottom, and then working up through each of the layers until you get to the point where you want to sort of invest in the betterment of humanity once all the other needs have been met along the way. This is kind of a ladder that you climb with personal growth, if you will. There's any number of ways to explain it. Anyway, we're not here to get into the nitty-gritty and the details. We're here for the experience. So what I would like to do is let's have an experience together, if you're willing. Now, I will say all the work that I do is done exclusively by permission only. In other words, you have to give me your permission to do this. And that has to do with the way free will works. I can show you things. I cannot do things for you unless and until you actually give me permission to do so. Now, you are more than willing to just observe. That's fine. I don't need to force this on anybody. In fact, that's precisely, I will not do it. That's why I expressly ask for people's permission to do so. All right. I should point out that if you are interested in the program, links will appear somewhere. And of course, you can go follow through and sign up should you choose to do so. And of course, I'm hoping you will. But that, again, is entirely up to you. All I can do is show you what we have to offer. Okay, so with that, I'm just going to silence the music for a second. And why don't we start with a chakra balancing? And then from there, you can decide whether or not to continue or not. I will point out that when I'm doing the actual energy work, I will put something else on screen. It's not significant. It's not important. It is entertaining, and I like to use the colors and the motion and everything because they sort of activate different portions of the brain, but it's not critical to the process. You don't need to focus on anything. You just need to provide permission and allow the process to happen. That's it. It's very, very simple. I'm doing the heavy lifting for you. And we'll get into some of how and why I do that after this first exercise, if that's okay with you. All right. So what we're going to do is start with the chakra balancing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and get each of your chakras to be sort of not one of them hyperactive and not one of them underactive, just in balance with each other. Then I'm going to energize them slightly, give you a little bit more oomph. And then on top of that, I'm going to tune them for health, wealth, well-being, and happiness, which is kind of the combination that I like. If you want a custom combination, let me know. I'd be happy to put one together for you. But that's kind of the balance that I've come up with so far that just kind of feels right for most people. Anyway, so here we go. So with your permission, and I want you to say this out loud. And the reason being is a lot of people's minds are kind of jumbled and running all kinds of things. And did I or didn't I? I don't want you to sort of second guess yourself as to whether or not you said it right or something like that. When you say it out loud, it just makes it very clear that your intent is to go ahead with the balancing. All right, so on behalf of all willing participants, I will now balance, tune, and energize your chakras. Here we go. That note, done. So like I say, I like to demonstrate as opposed to just talk about it. And let's get into a little bit of what just happened. So it started with me doing a lot of meditation and a lot of research as well. I cross-referenced some 400 books and looked at things, found patterns, all that sort of usual stuff. But it was in my journey with the meditations that I've always had the ability to manipulate energy. I discovered it as a kid, and turns out there are practices that call this Reiki, and I'm certified as a Reiki master, but I don't advertise that per se. I just found more interesting ways to me to use this energy. And so, like I say, I discovered it, and when you can feel it, you can feel it. Not everybody can. Everybody says that everybody can, but not everybody can, or not everybody can right away. You have to get very quiet internally before you feel it. And then once you feel it, you can hold your hands a certain distance apart, and you've got to be very still, very quiet if you're not used to it. And then when you move them, all of a sudden you'll feel kind of an interesting little pressure in there, right? And then you start, well, what is that, right? Anyway, you don't have to learn that to work with me. I do most of the heavy lifting for you, and that's like, I did a lot of advanced meditation with binaural beats, which really sort of accelerate things, and in the process, I was shown that I could do these things. I could do them on behalf of other people. And that's when I got, oh, okay, that's interesting. And I wanted to make sure that I was doing things that were very beneficial for other people. Doesn't matter what I believe, it's what's good for the recipient, right? So always focused on their highest good. And so part of that was realizing that in a way we kind of run computer software, and it's what I call scripts. And most of the scripts that you learned them as a child. You came in, and it was between the ages of like -0 and 7 is when your brain is wide open. It's in what we call a theta state, and everything just gets dumped in at that point. And it's how the brain learns how to survive. Its only function is to make sure that you stay alive, because if you don't stay alive, nothing else matters. So that is all that it's tuned for. What a lot of people realize as they grow up, they have this, holy crap moment where they realize that maybe not everything that their parents taught them was good for them. Not everything their parents taught them apply in this world today, right? And then from there, you start on that journey of discovering who you are, and reprogramming some of these scripts, getting them out, and then deciding what scripts you want to run. And you're always running scripts. It's just a matter of choosing which ones are beneficial for you. And by a script, I could mean you jump in a car and you start driving. You don't need to pay attention to almost anything. It's almost completely automatic. You have some level of attention as to where you're going. And how many times have you driven somewhere and then thought, how did I get here, right? Because it's so automatic. You do something on a regular basis and it becomes a script. It moves to a different portion of the brain where it just happens. Now you can be, consciously aware of this and or subconsciously aware, or not really aware, but some of this stuff runs in the subconscious and you're not aware of it, and it is not beneficial for you, or it's no longer beneficial. That's kind of the point where I like to work, is when you've identified something, and again, I can do a lot of this heavy lifting for you, because we can work topic by topic. We don't need to do this, 3 hours of digging into all of your childhood and things that happened and all of that history. Either you have a topic, right? Maybe a dog bit you, right? And every time you see a dog, you have some little minor panic attack. That would be a specific topic, dogs. Or we can focus on feelings. And feelings are very beneficial, because a lot of the early stuff, like before 3 and under, you learned non-verbally. And that's why a lot of verbal-based techniques don't always work the same as effective on non-verbal things. However, when I work with the feeling, it doesn't matter whether it's verbal or not. We can just reach in, find the feeling, jump to the root cause of that feeling, find any shock or trauma that's related to that, and then the process I use, I call the magic words. And what it does is it reveals the value that was there, lessons, experiences, whatever, that brings to the table. And then once that value has been unleashed, it becomes something that is free to decide. So you can decide to let it move along, and or replace it with something that is far more beneficial for you today. So all of the stuff that's in there is serving you faithfully. It's doing the best job it possibly can based on everything that it knows and it has experienced before. That doesn't necessarily work in the current world that you're living in, so it just needs adjusting or tuning. Doesn't need to be beaten up, doesn't need to be cut out, doesn't need to be blasted. Just needs to be understood, acknowledged, and resolved, and then released. So that is what the magic words does. So maybe we can demonstrate this. This is going to be a little bit deeper than the chakra balancing, and let's see. Money's always a big one, right? So why don't we do the magic words on your feelings about money, and then you can see how that feels, right? And I have on the YouTube channel, I have well over 100 different topics that I've done the magic words on. You are free to go explore them and go through them. There may be a topic there that's interesting to you. If not, leave a comment. Let me know. Put something down. Say, I would like the magic words on this, that, or the other. Be more than happy to accommodate everybody that I can. All right. So what I will do is I've started to do this lately with some music in the background. Some people think it's distracting. Some people don't. Your mileage may vary. I like it. It helps me quiet everything down. I can drop into the state to do the magic words very quickly, literally within a heartbeat. And this, I just like the feel, how the energy flows with the music. And we're planning on doing live sessions. We plan on doing stuff where we bring the toys that make the noise here. Let me see if I can show them. Yeah, there we go. So there's the toys that make the noise. So we plan on bringing those out to live events, and doing a form of a static dance where you get to dance with your feelings. So if you feel like moving, wonderful. Your body always wants to move. We were designed to be creatures in motion. We sit way too much. But that's just one of the perils of society today. So if the music moves you, please feel free to dance like nobody's watching, whether anybody's watching or not. Anyway, so let's get back to the magic words on your feelings about money. So let's light this up a little bit. And what I want you to do, okay, just breathe nice and gently. Okay, now think about money. It could be, you could have thoughts about people have way too much money. You could have thoughts about, I don't have enough money. You could have thoughts about, bills coming in, credit cards, any number of things. Just find something that gets you an emotion, right? And you're doing the calming thing, right? But if you've got something that jumps up and you have that sensation, that feel, that's perfect, right? Just as uncomfortable as it is, just hold it, right? And then while you're holding it, what I want you to do is give me permission, and you will experience what I call the magic words on the root causes, as well as the shock and the trauma of that particular feeling, right? So grab the feeling, and you're welcome, by the way, to go back and replay this as many times as you want. Work on different feelings each time you go. More than happy to help you that way. All right, so when you are ready, with your permission, and again, say it out loud so it's clear that this is happening for you. And now it's time for the magic words on the root causes of your feelings about money. have now been performed on your behalf for the root causes of your feelings about money. Okay, so how was that for you? Like I say, your mileage may vary. Some people are very energy sensitive, energy aware. Some people are not. And belief is not an issue here. We've done this so many times with so many different people, and I usually do this with somebody that is very able to read energy and can see things going on, and so I do it with this feedback loop that's helped me refine the magic words well over a decade, where we've kind of tuned them very well. So they work. I'm not concerned about that. Your mileage may vary depending on what emotions you picked, how locked in they are, how many other things around it are related to it. And, a lot of people describe this as peeling the onion. So you peel off one layer and lo and behold, there's another layer that looks just kind of like it very much. It's slightly different, but very similar, right? So again, like I say, you're free to use all of the videos that I have on my channel. Please help yourself. And you're free to repeat, this previous exercise. You could do it 10 times. And each time it will find something different to work on and resolve, right? If you're new to this, I would put a limit at about 25 a day. You start when you start shifting at that level, your world gets a little chaotic, a little crazy, because every time you change your relationship with everything else in the universe, right? So you've got to sort of re-navigate a brand new world, as it were, when you do that. So, you can do more. You can do a lot more, right? And if you need to change your circumstances pretty fast, then obviously do something drastically, like do 50 of these. Find different things or the same one, doesn't matter, until you get to that point where you go like, oh, yeah, okay, we're good to go now, right? But again, you decide. It's always your choice. You have free will. I'm just offering to give you a helping hand to deal with something before you have developed your own tools and techniques to do this for yourself. Everybody could do this for themselves. The amount of work that they need to do could be substantial, and we're measuring things in years and decades, as opposed to, here, let me give you a hand, and this is what it looks like from here. Continue on, right? Anyway, so so you just experienced one magic words. And the chakra reset program, we do this, but instead of focusing on one particular thing, with the chakras, each chakra is tuned to a specific thing. So the root chakra, the base chakra, has to do with your safety. So if you don't feel safe, then nothing else kind of matters. So the first thing we do is we establish that baseline, and what I do is a form of the magic words specifically on that chakra. And if I could describe what we just went through with one magic words, it's kind of like going into a field full of daisies or dandelions and plucking out one, okay? When we do the chakra reset, it's like we go to that field and we tug on all the dandelions simultaneously. Not all of them will release, but a huge number of them will, right? We recommend that people go through the chakra reset program several times, precisely because of that. Because what got what got nudged or uprooted slightly in the first time will definitely move in the second time. But you'll have enough fun dealing with everything that did release in the first one. So, this is somewhere in the order of 100 to 1,000, maybe more. It's very, very powerful. That's why we only work on one chakra per month. When we do the program, we will do a recording of it. So if for any reason you miss a session, you can catch up using the recording. We don't want anybody to miss. We want everybody to go through all of them. And again, in the comments, I will be more than happy to answer any questions you have regarding this program. I want people to understand what it is, how powerful this is, how transformative it could be for them, and then make an intelligent choice whether or not this is right for you. Okay. I think I've gone through most of what I want to go through. I would love. I'm not watching the comments live. Sorry. Maybe I should. But I will respond to any of the comments that have come through in the chat or otherwise, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I would like to again give you another gift. I'm trying to think. We've covered money, relationships. That's another big one, right? So what I want you to do, we're going to do the magic words one more time, and then I'll close out this session. What I want you to do is to think of someone, and this could be someone you have a relationship with. This could be someone that you want a relationship with. I'm not promising that we're going to make a relationship happen. That's a different realm. What I am going to do is help you with the root causes of the feelings that are coming up. So find something that you have a strong reaction to. So if you think of someone, this could be a mother, a father, grandfather, grandmother, sibling, spouse, someone that just grinds your gears, right? Gets you into that emotional state for no apparent well, you may have 100 reasons why, but that's okay. Just find something or someone you have a relationship with that grinds your gears, and then we'll do the magic words, and then see how you feel afterwards. Okay. All right, and again, I'm going to light up the toys that make the noise, and again, this is done exclusively with your permission, right? So, and a reminder, say it out loud so that you know this is happening on your behalf. All right, are we ready to go? Okay, so on behalf of all willing participants, I will now perform the magic word ceremony on the root causes of your feelings about the relationship with your selected partner. All right, here we go. now been done. The magic word ceremony has been performed on the root causes of your feelings about your selected partner, imaginary or otherwise. So, take a minute, see how you feel. And again, feel free to back this up and do this on 10 different people. You could do it on your mother, your father, your siblings, your spouse. You can go back and do this as many times as you want. Please help yourself. And if what I do interests you and you want to take this to the next level, then the next level is the Chakra Reset Program. It is very intense, it is very powerful, and I would love to take as many people through this as I can. There are 2 layers to it. One is just the program itself, and we've created a second version, and again, links will be somewhere. You can hopefully find them with ease. The second version, we've rolled in individual settings. Now, the individual sessions. With the individual sessions, you will connect with both my wife and I. Teresa is a very, very good channel, medium, if you will. She will be able to look at you energetically and talk with you in a different dimension. And she helps me identify, instead of going through 3 hours of, what happened in your childhood and all that stuff, we can just zoom right in. We can find specific issues. And as I'm removing them, I get that feedback loop from somebody else that confirms that I've actually locked onto the right thing and have resolved it. It doesn't always resolve right away, so that's good to know. So I can go back in and do some more work, or we can figure out other things that need to be done, use different exercises, that kind of thing. Anyway, that's it. I really want to thank you for being here, for listening to this. This means a lot to me. I want to help as many people as I can. So if you know somebody that this would be interested in or would be beneficial to, even if they just come here and go through the money and the relationship exercise, that makes me happy. Thank you for letting them know. Thank you for wanting to be of service to others. That would be greatly appreciated. All right, so on that note, I'm going to let everybody go. And again, I thank everybody for being here. Really appreciate your time, energy, and attention, and look forward to seeing who wants to go through this program. I think it's going to be a great group of people. We're going to have an awful lot of fun, and we will see you either in the program or in a future video. So thank you once again for being here.